Time for us to get the best hood for mages. Now you can see we are on the very eastern edge. As a matter of fact, you can't really get much further east. And this is Sundercliff Watch, which is where we need to go. This is quite a long dungeon, so make sure your inventory is low if you plan on making some money out of it. Because I've been doing so much grinding and selling of stuff, gold is not an issue, so I'm just not really interested in gold type rewards. But anyways, let's go into Sundercliff Watch. This is quite a long dungeon, so be prepared for that, depending on which stage you plan on coming here. The wiki said that the final stage of the scaling for this was level 20, but I didn't get the stats I was expecting to get, so I took it all the way up to level 30, and it's still the same stats. So just bear in mind that maybe either the wiki is wrong or something has changed or something like this. So just be aware of that as we go in. And so we're just going to start making our way through. Now, once we get down here, it's going to ask you for a password to the door. The password is in this diary right here. And then we can just say chimer to continue moving forward. Now we fight our way through until we reach the village. Again, loot anything that you want. There's tons of loot all over the place. I'm not going to detail every chest or anything like this. We're just going to go over the main cliff notes of the objectives. Alright, so we're in the village. We continue going forward. Many enemies here, so get ready for that. If you're a summoner, make sure you get your summons out, as you are probably going to need the help. And then we can skip on through and head into the next zone, which is the commune, where we can continue pushing forward and continue following the quest line until we reach Drothan's quarters. In here, we'll have some loot, but most importantly, we have his journal. So we'll go ahead and we'll take that. And then we can head into the commander's quarters, where we should be able to head upstairs for one of the Beezors. Go ahead and deal with this guy. And now we're going to head back to the village and into the forge. So a little bit of a skip forward here. Hope you guys are able to, you know, at least have a look around, do some exploring, find all the chests and stuff. And we head pretty much straight across. So from where we were, we're going across the bridge. We need to hit the forge. Now, the forge can be a little bit confusing, because once you get in here, it tells you to go for the forge tent. And it looks like we're in the same instance. And we kind of are. It's below us just there. And I don't know if you can see it from this side. There's actually a shortcut back here that we'll be using later on, but for now, we just need to loop around this mine. Now, you need to be careful, because the turnings are quite hard to see because of how tight it is for the camera. But we want this left turn here, so if I bring my map up, you can see we've done pretty much like a 180 degree of the loop. It continues on, and there's more people and loot here. You can go and fight those if you want, but I'm more interested in getting us through the dungeon. Then we go to Sundercliff Mines. We skip through this area, so we get through as quickly as we can to the next door. For a quick reference, we came in through this door, you head on all the way down, and you want to go like around this way, come to the east here. You'll follow this loop around. This brings you up to the top platform. You can see we've got 2 bridges, and then we are able to now go through this door up in the northern end. I know that's really quick, but I really don't want to take too much time over this. I just want to make it nice and quick for you guys. Obviously, if you have skills and stuff that you need to train up, this is a great place to do it. You can have loads of sneak increases, get your acrobatics up. That's a good idea, especially as acrobatics allows us to get loads of shortcuts in the next zone. So hopefully you've been listening to me about, you know, make sure you're getting the jumping on there whilst you're raising your skills. We've got a few enemies that we need to face. And now we should easily be able to progress to the master's tent. And beat the Forge Master up, who has a pretty good amulet. If you want to take it up, why not? I doubt he always drops those. I just got Mage Battlemage, that's hilarious. Right, into the tent we go, where we get the next Beezor. Feel free to loot his room. There's all sorts of stuff that can be looted in here. Again, I'm not too interested in that. And now we go. And now, if we look just across from where the entrance to the tent was, we have a ramp upwards. We don't need to go all the way back. Instead, we'll pull this rock, and we are back to the village. Follow the quest marker. We've got a door we need to place those Beezors into. That should bring us to a big open cave with a bright looking barrier in it. So when I look over this in a second, I guess it's not as bright as I thought it was. I'm going to get these dealt with. And then we place orbs into the pedestals, and then the barrier will break. This bit's actually really cool, especially if you want to play as a stealth archer, because there are now 2 factions fighting each other. We have the army people, Deathrani army or whatever it's called, versus a bunch of vampire adventurers, which I thought was pretty cool. We're just going to run on through all these corridors here till we reach Forsa Balim. All right, it's telling me there's going to be lots of fighting, and there is, in fact, even more fighting. So be careful. This is vampires versus soldiers. So, you know, we can get the ghouling is because they're fighting each other. We can get in the mix there, use whatever you want, upgrade some stats. I really want to get my blade up, which is why I'm just swinging, going ham. Go ahead and loot them. And then you want to go to the opposite side from where we came in. There's going to be more enemies up here, so be careful. No going invisible, vampire. All right, and we continue going through. More loot that you can carry in here, I'm telling you now. On my initial playthrough, I had an issue here where I had like an invisible wall. I don't actually know how you fix it. I didn't need to go this way, so it ended up being okay. As you can see from the door, we're going to turn around. Come on back over here. Now, we should be back in the, Varsabalim, and we need to kind of... So this is where we were earlier when we kind of did the whole crossover thing. And now we need to kind of go in an anti-clockwise manner, but up on the raised platform. I've already been up and cleared, been through, but there's a gap here, which if you don't have much in the way of acrobatics, will make your life a lot easier, because when you're coming across this way, there's multiple ways to jump over this wall, which is stopping us getting to where we want to get to, which is the Nephilum, which I can't say. It's not actually that difficult to phoneticize, but this is where you can ordinarily jump over and everything is all hunky-dory, right? However, if you don't have the acrobatics, you want to come through this gap right here. So I was obviously up there. Yeah, I was obviously here. This is where the wall was, right? So we can drop down. And then the cave right here. So where the wall was, we just dropped off. And then you find the cave. Then you can get back up, which is all good. That's probably the hardest part of the dungeon. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that was there. We're not going into that one. We're continuing along these walkways right here. So we came out of... So I'm pretty sure we come out of this one. We stayed as high up as we could until we came to the wall. And then you can either jump over the wall or drop down, loop around and get back up. Stayed across the top. And now we've come across where all of these little walkways are as we make our way to the Nephilum. We just keep on following these platforms. We really don't want to drop off, okay? There's going to be a lot of enemies around here your first time up. I know we're in the right place once we reach the nice bright crystal here. We're going down the staircase as with all of the other Ayleid ruins and enter the final chamber. We're going to see lots of corpses because this guy's a badass. So just be careful, especially if, you know, you are going to be meleeing this guy because he's going to reflect damage. So as I attack him, he's going to hurt me. Just be careful of that. And he is giving me some loot that I've wanted for a very long time. We've got Spelltone Cloak, so if you want something that's got spell absorption on it, that's going to be another item of that. Now we're going to go ahead, open the door, deal with our friend here, and we'll take the Maiden's Dagger as well, which is a nice bonus to the headset that I wanted us to have. And then we can leave. Follow the very straightforward path out. Eventually you'll come to a puddle that has a door in it. This is our way out, so just be careful. We don't want to be drowning now that we have our prize. And we now have our hood. Taking a look at it then, this is a hood that gives you 12 shield, so that is 12 armor. In addition to that, we also get 10% reflect, which means that is 10% damage reduction in melee before it even hits our armor, and resist normal weapon on self, which is another 10% before it even hits our armor. And the most important thing about the resist normal weapons on my build is that that will apply to archers, which is currently my biggest weakness.